Record.
Audio.
It won't do anything. It won't even let me. Mm-mm. And it shows like I took the video off. Now it shows like a gray screen. There's nothing. It did have record here to the cloud and I pressed that and everything went away. Now it's just that.
Yeah.
We have a video now, so, but it still won't connect to the audio. I think we'll just have to go with it. It shows you guys, so I don't. There's no record to the cloud. So.
Open the door, they start to think, flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jeremy McCart,
Here.
Bernie Paparad,
Here.
Roseanne Bozak, Travis Dunlap, Gordon McCormick,
Here.
Michelle Watkins,
Here.
Aaron Adcock.
Approval of minutes November 4th, 2024. So moved. Second. Any discussion? Roll call, Joe.
Bernie Paparad,
Yes.
Travis Dunlap,
Yes.
Michelle Watkins, Gordon McCormick,
Yeah.
Aaron Adcock, Jeremy McCart.
Yes. Communication bill of expenditures. For officers, committee and staff, go down. That's already on the agenda. No. Gordon? No. Old business, under old business, there was a subcommittee established for data center definitions. I discussed on the $4. Once we were going to meet, I ended up sick, so that wasn't, so I expect that we'll be able to come to some sort of understanding before this meeting. New business, review of bonds, maintenance guarantees, letters of credit. there's nothing new on there. It's just the two things for Portland's on there for us. One of which is the sewer line flood and then start the Grand Seaver phase two, so. Number 200 new business and shipping containers.
That, most of that got answered, because of what I was wanting to get some information and clarification as it pertains to KLLM's such a unique situation. That they have an existing variance that applies to them, and they sent a letter requesting, to have upwards of 550 containers, on their premise. And of course, I had to send them a rejection letter because that's beyond the scope of anything that they were allowed, even in this pre-existing variance allowed for 200 containers stacked no more than 2 high at any one point in time. And I believe they contacted Jill today to apply to go before the BZA, so that's kind of all in the process. The other concern that I spoke with Fire Chief Nowacki, and he was concerned that that was a serious fire hazard, the way that they have those containers stacked with no passage right in between, and if they're so close together, that would be an actual firefighter's nightmare. And Wednesday, he took and got some drone footage with that, with some pictures that I believe he's going to bring to the meeting with the BZA when KLLM comes there, so that they can see all of that. He can further elaborate and explain that situation.
Second question. I guess moving on, are they gonna correct if the conviction variance is allowed to stack them too high? Are they gonna take that correction immediately?
Well, I assume this would be an ongoing thing for them, as many containers as they have out there. But it wouldn't be something that they would be able to just do it within a few days. It would probably take them some time to do that and move some of those things around. Some of the containers that are out there are actual refrige units. So they would have to probably go through and reorganize everything.
Right.
And I imagine that would be pretty encompassing and take some time. But yeah, but once they go before the BZA and the BZA sees their proposal and makes a determination, then that can be part of it for sure.
You're currently outside compliance with the existing variance, so.
Yes, they are. Yeah, there's probably between 500 and 1,000 containers on there. There's a lot of
3 and or
4 high. And it says right on the containers, maximum stack noise. Literally,
More than-
spelled it on right on the container.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Extract more ownership more.
Next thing under new business, there's a informal discussion on the site plan review, Milmar Building, 326 Mountain Road. You guys get to speak about it. You wanna introduce yourself and explain the scope of the project?
Perfect. Curtis with Milmar Buildings, posing over there on Milton Road. I say kind of an informal, wanting to gather the information of what all exactly you guys will allow, what we need to have done up by the engineers before going through that costly endeavor of getting engineer drawings and things done for a new building, if it doesn't meet all the different requirements that you guys are looking for. Currently proposed, what we would like to do would be in addition to the existing building. It would have 2 breezeways connecting from the existing into this new building. Full steel building, pretty much kind of a copy paste of what's there already. Would be what the new building would be made out of. One breezeway would be more of for people, more of a standard entryway to go to and from. The other would be a little bit larger breezeway connection point more for like forklift size, something like that, that to go to and from the two spaces. That's what we're looking to do. I kind of see what this would be classified as, you guys, kind of what would be allowed and what we need to do to, on an engineering side, before we start going through that process.
Joe, I guess my first question in regards to this, I know the obvious thing, which is whether or not this is an accessory building or an addition. But beyond that, are there any other things with this potential that would require variance?
Yes. 151330G zoning district lot coverage allowed for RC2 districts defined, it's page 56. 151330O, the height may not exceed the height of the principal building. Again, we're just looking at a very rudimentary drawing here. But this is something that was mentioned in previous conversation, that if it exceeds the height of the principal building, that would require a variance. 1546 special exception, if use variance is required, the standards would apply to that. Chapter 15, pages 59 to 62, parking lot calculations may come into consideration there because next door to Curly's, I believe that's a mound septic system that would butt right up to that, so I don't know how close they're actually wanting to come to that with the parking lot and what kind of drainage system they have in that. So there's a few things to consider there.
I take it they're on our sanitary system now.
Right.
Okay.
I think that's
The mound is, decommissioned. I'm Jason Glass, sorry, I'm with Rivers Mass that we rented the building. My business partner and I have an option to buy. We're looking to buy the building, but we need a space. We're growing rather, we need more space. Okay, so this is more like feasibility, what can we do within the parameters, what the lot restrictions are, how big can we go? It's necessarily, no offense, so that has to be with a breezeway or not. We're open to staying in Burns Harbor, growing with Burns Harbor, and staying on that piece of property. We want to know what kind of up to scale can we go? And it's been real clear, is all. That's what we're involved.
And Mr. Chairman, I would just say, for the record, for full disclosure, I have represented Service Master in the past. I represent them merely on collection matters. They do when there's, fires or water damage or whatever they want to repair the property. If you don't pay or insurance doesn't pay, I assist collection efforts. I have no involvement. I'm not representing them. Obviously, that would be a conflict.
In regards to the septic question, I guess, regardless, an adjacent property, if they have that, would that take another property owner and prevent them from building if their building was within code?
That's not my property.
What?
That mound is
That mound's on your property.
Yes.
Okay.
It is decommissioned, so I think we can just properly dispose of it.
Okay.
Right. If we need to, right? Like if-
Okay, that's what I was curious. I was like, seemed a little weird, but. From my perspective, the biggest issue is what we had spoken about before. If this building is the same square footage as the existing building. If it's deemed to be an accessory building, it would be too large for our code, which would require variance. I guess the question is, and I guess I'm gonna put you on the spot here, like, when is a building an addition and when is it an accessory building? If it's deemed to be attached through a breezeway, is that sufficient to be?
This to me seems to be an addition because they're attached.
Right, and that's my question. I don't wanna stop the process.
How we handle, the training center, Steve, I should say. It's, that's something,
It's treated as an addition.
okay, there's an addition. Because it was Tyler Breezeway. Is that the purpose?
Correct.
Okay.
Because that, again, became the same question as far as if it was an accessory building, it can only be up to 90% of the footprint of the existing building. But if this is sufficient to say that this is an addition, then we don't have anything that prohibits the simple square footage. Now, the heights and stuff like that, you outlined, that's a separate instance. So if it's just that, then the size of the building, you know, as long as it doesn't exceed the lot coverage allowable for that district,
When my understanding, the building and the parking,
right,
what's required for parking because of the size of the building.
Correct. And I don't know what the coverage is here, I just know. Right, like with what we're proposing, it's gonna be.
I mean, if that's the issue as far as breezeway, I'm not sure what the plan is for this open area. Essentially between the, area between the two breezeways, but. Move that. Wall in the western building, so it's. Up against the wall, western wall of the other building.
And there's not much space there, that's a plus or minus calculation, and how we want to set the foundation. Breezeway to be.
But you see, I'm talking this area right here between the two buildings. What's gonna be there? You gonna have windows, like a garden or something? Or it's gonna be.
All we're gonna be mechanicals, where we'll put our air handler units. So obviously, and I think the breezeway, again, not to scale on this rough drawing, will be, you know, probably closer to 10 feet for proper clearances. As a big fire code, right? Like,
So you'll have access into that, to
yeah,
that open area, the air, talking about like air conditioner unit.
yeah.
you just said it won't get stolen anymore.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Catalog and spots, fire ratio. Yeah.
Take a lot of the buildings, right? It's so close to that, be a firewall. It's difficult. Building,
We should have.
but being that close.
Correct, that's what we can,
But that still requires a state design release. Any additions to a commercial building?
I believe so. Yeah.
typically.
100 meters of wall required on a commercial project, require a space stand.
Okay. Joe, have you already communicated with them the specific variances that they would need then if they were to move forward with this as far as the height and stuff, or are we still, we haven't, at that point, we don't know what the height of their building is?
Yeah, just based on the conversations that I had and again, the limited drawing that I have, that we have in front of us. I gave them a list via email with those things I read off variance wise. And I printed out some of our code for parking lot coverage and things of that nature for him when he came in and talked to you as well that same day.
Right.
So I printed off some of that information so that he has it.
It may require retention ponds and sort of stormwater. Black coverage.
Yeah, right now we're presently a sheet drain into that back ditch. So you guys maintain for a while. I mean, you guys know that more frequently than I move my yard. Yeah, there are going to be some limiting factors, I think, in total square footage of development. And I think that's the biggest hurdle in the discussion is what are the allowable limits for building and then for asphalt? And then do we get into the issue where if we have to have a drainage fund, we can just grab it, right? Because there's not enough property there to do that. And that may be engineered required, right? And that's not you guys.
Right.
It just may be required. And so this is kind of the informal nature, before we spend $100,000 in engineering and drawings, want to gauge the overall feasibility of adding 10,000 square feet plus or minus open space, but additionally, probably another 10,000-20,000 square feet of asphalt to go along with it. Those numbers get large. Yeah.
This RC2 ground.
Yes. Well, with the drainage, I kind of feel like that's probably something that we should, discuss with Shem. And whether that would be required maybe. And again, we're kind of guessing it, where we don't have exact numbers. That makes it even more difficult.
I think the biggest thing is gonna be a part of the building or doing the accessory.
Yeah, and we could also do away with breezeways and make it an actual addition. That would require some modifications to the existing buildings, and we'll pass 5,000 square feet, when we sprinkle it, all in. And there's some cost that's involved there, right? If we don't take up the property and the breezeway, we may be able to, use that for retention space or asphalt space. If we can attach them, maybe we can lower the square footage a little bit, make it more functional. Along with that, I think, but we don't really know which way we want to go either. And I think some of those issues that we're faced with help us answer those questions.
Yeah, no, I mean, the only other thing I see is trying to get a better idea of the exact size of what all the coverage would be. I mean, specifically, it says that you'd be allowed to cover up to 75% coverage on that property. If I'm reading that correctly.
Okay.
And I mean, based on the drawings and everything, I can see where that probably could still fit in there. Still a large piece of property.
Right. I think what we can do then is, maybe do some preliminary fancier plans, than what you've got today. And maybe stop short of engineering it
Right.
and come and talk about it and say, hey, this is where we're at. This is
No,
where
yeah,
we're
I mean,
at.
I'm gonna see you guys on tens of thousands of dollars and something for us to just tell you, nah, that's not happen.
Yeah, but if it's a
That's good for anybody.
couple $100 or, $3,000 to get a site survey done and place a box on there that you can kind of look at and see in real time. We'll do a little research on the calculation for acquiring parking spaces per square foot, bringing it at, all of that. We need to kind of get that figured out, I think. To see if that's a height I'm flexible on. I would love to go, a little taller, but if it's a variant, gonna be time consuming and costly, then maybe we'll stick with the same height. I'm flexible, to work within the bounds that we have. Definitely don't want it to be this over, like, look like a thumb sticking on the side of the building. And I think that's something else too, is that the exterior of the existing building and the entire lot will be, freshened up, painted, new landscaping, new lighting, obviously, some more appropriate signage in the park over Morgan sign, more permanent features. That I would like to do so for sure.
Anyone else have any other questions? I mean, ultimately, how it works out in the years you've been here, that little to no interaction with your business itself. I mean, you guys just come and go and do your thing. So,
Try to do
at least for my end, what I see, and doesn't matter what it is, you guys come and go and do what you gotta do, and I haven't had any issues with it. So,
Is the use of the existing building, what you want to do with whether you consider an addition or accessories, the use of that structure any different than the existing?
No, so it's just, basically future, expansion for office as we grow. That's probably 2 or 3 years down the line, but the actual square footage I need for the storage of people's personal property, we store that and clean that on site from fires and water loss. Right, so we have like around 25 houses worth of furniture in our warehouse, and you know, tables and silverware. And all this. So it's just literally storage space. And the height, requirement allows us to stack. We store these things in, personal vaults, is what we call them. And they're storage cubicles that we can stack. Right now, we can stack them 2 high, I'd like to be able to stack them 3 high, that's the extra footage, so. That's, you know, a third more usable square footage space. If I can
Right.
stack it to a third high, so I gotta make that calculation cost, you know, risk reward of a variance. But that's limiting in order to stay there.
What is the proposed height that you would like this addition or accessory building, whatever we're calling it, to be?
What did I put in? 73?
Is it within the standards?
24 and the current approximate height is 21. That's measured from the inside, that might be 23, 22 and a half. Yeah, so just basically I can stack 3 except for I don't have any clearance for the forklift to move in there, because I need 21 feet, but I need the extra, you know, movable units. And then the detached structure right now, like, you know, from a design perspective, we have a single slope roof on that. So we would do another single slope roof, and we would just have the roof kind of be like a modern pitch over.
Okay.
You know, so it wouldn't really be an eyesore. It just kind of have the 2 stacked roofs. You can't really see the pitch roof because it has that facade around the side of the building. We would probably just do something similar and the facade approach as well.
Joe, do you know offhand what the maximum height is in RC2?
No, I didn't.
I guess my other question is, if it's an addition, is there a variance? If I build an addition that's taller than the existing structure, does that still require variance? Because now it's just part of it.
If it's an accessory building, it would require, a variance.
Right. But if it was an addition,
And I don't think it's.
I guess how do we come to that understanding? Is this an addition or a accessory building? Like, where do we draw that line? I mean, it's physically attached.
You know, what we, what's our ground, what we satisfy on shoes, this,
An addition.
I think it goes back to, is it the same as the primary structure?
Which is just an expansion of space, so they're not adding like another business into that or changing any other use, they're just expanding what they currently do.
So if you're supporting now, correct, what it was. Yeah,
Well, the accessory building is defined at 15.2 and already, but it can go along 60. The subordinate building, accessory structure, accessory located on the same lot within the existing main building or subordinate use of land, either of which is incidental to the main building or to the principal use of the land. Addition is defined. Addition to an existing structure means any walled and expansion to the perimeter of a structure in which the addition is connected by a common load-bearing wall other than a firewall. Any walled and addition which is connected by a firewall or separated by an independent perimeter load-bearing wall is new construction.
Just build something 30 feet away and connect it to it. I think it's got some closeness to it.
And go in there, start out by your way. You know.
No, I agree. I mean, we definitely want to bring it up. Just an easy loophole for anyone to do anything that they want to do, but at the same time, we don't want to treat one person differently than how we are treating other people. It needs to be a common direction, like, hey, this way is, if this is feasible. I mean. There's, at this point, it's two different areas, and one of them is significant enough to drive a forklift through. We're able to connect the two.
Ian's thing, just based on the, so that doesn't seem like kind of skirt. But I don't know if it's define it, you know, the code of it's defined as. Is how long free space feet or from what I've seen.
I don't see any, on the new addition, is there any access from the outside in? It doesn't show anything.
Yeah, yes, there will be.
Cause I was just trying to figure out, if you didn't have anything on the bank back there, hopefully, that's how the fire gonna get from one side to the other. You know, just through a little 10-foot opening there,
Oh,
you know, but as long as they have other doors on the back side. That's fine.
and that,
I think you're on to, a good thing to, consider that is. It kind of sets a precedent one way or the other.
I mean, I'm just, so like, if I had my home and I wanted to build a big room out the back of it, and it was connected 10 feet wide through there, nobody would sit there and thought that was an accessory building. Right. I mean, that would be a pretty significant thing. And that's why I'm kind of leaning just by looking at this, unless there's something that proves me wrong, that maybe we do view this as an addition.
If you look in RC, here, brand RC2. Built the, building configuration. The principal building would be 3 stories max. I would like to suggest you with residential, not commercial, 25 foot. But the accessory is on 2 stories. So it has to be a smaller building, private building. Shorter, very small.
And if we're saying it's an accessory building and not an
And
addition.
that's what they specify in our C2 for accessory building.
That's why this part of it is so important, whether or not it's an accessory building or it's an addition.
Then by definition, it's quite a thread between whether it be classified as addition versus accessory. Then on that, you got design flexibility you need, whether you need to make an joining load bearing wall to suffice as an addition and still have what you need for air.
Correct.
That's
I think that's right. And I think with what you read, the classification change from remodel addition permit to new construction changes the process, right? So that's a separate structure being built with the new construction permit. Yeah, even if it's adjoined with a firewall, right? If we did a CMU masonry wall all the way down to the west side of the building, put the new building right there, that would be new construction, that would be, that's the way I heard that, right? And then breezeway. I don't want to put any words in anybody's mouth, but if it's substantial, then there's potential that that could be not deemed as accessory.
Sounds pretty accurate.
Just for the record, the breezeway will be substantial, and we'll get a full-size carpet truck, you know, the big trucks we drive,
Right,
they'll be able to drive through, that's how big of a breezeway we're talking.
right.
So,
And we've done a few of these with state, with the additions like this, breezeways. We just did one currently, and the minimum you could go was 10. As far as away from the one going to the next, and it was 10 by 13, is what state was looking for. So just an example of what that one size was.
okay. But as like Travis said, from a design perspective, that gives us 75%. We know, we understand the height requirement, that there's some fundability there, maybe 25 feet if it's an addition, accessory, what have you. But we can at least start to put a pen to paper and start measuring square footage. And then we'll know.
Right.
If it's feasible or not. So I would say, thank you for your time, mission accomplished.
Absolutely. Good to go over any of the business.
And welcome.
Roll call, Bill.
Travis Dunlap, Michelle Watkins, Gordon McCormick, Aaron Adcock, Bernie Paparad, Jeremy McCart.
Yeah.